getting sleepy. Very sleepy. But what's that dim light piercing the darkness? A YouTube notification that your favorite creator has posted a new video? Perhaps a TV screen with its unassuming glow spilling out onto your couch, beckoning your eyelids to remain open just a few more minutes so you can find out who the killer is in this decades-old murder trial. And oh my, there's a text notification on your smartwatch. What if it's your crush and they want to meet up? Or perhaps it's your boss and they've decided you're not worth their time and you're fired. Maybe it's your best friend and something is urgently wrong. What if it's your mom and they found out about that thing you did when you were 17 and now you're in trouble a decade later? Better grab your phone and find out. We live in a world of constant overstimulation. It crept in slowly and at the same time, all at once. One day we were kids, sneaking in a few more minutes of reading time or Game Boy under the covers, and now we're adults, allegedly, that feel like we're on call 24/7, consumed by social media, regular media, and cell phone and internet services that connect us to everyone and everything all the time. We know we should be taking better care of ourselves, hydrating, getting more physical activity, and proper rest, but getting our body and mind to cooperate is another story. The stress and stimulation of the day often spills into our nights and subsequently our dreams. That's where melatonin comes in. Yes, the sleep aid, but also the dreamy rhythm game from aptly named developer and publisher Half Asleep. Melatonin is a rhythm game, yes, but not in the Rock Band or Guitar Hero sense. There are no plastic instruments, no recognizable tracks, no music-themed interface, and no lyrics. Half awake and half distracted by the stress and media that surrounds you, you'll traverse through 5 different days that break up the game into 5 chapters. Each chapter teaches you a new input with multiple levels for you to practice that skill. All of these levels begin with a practice mode, where you are shown prompts and given a metronome to help you understand when to hold down the action button or when to use the right and left bumpers. From there, you can try the scored mode, which will net you a set number of stars depending on your performance. Easy enough, but in this mode, the prompts and the metronomes are removed. So you'll really need to pay attention to the music and audio cues, as well as the visual cues and the animations, to understand when and how to act. Once you've mastered the scored mode by earning at least 2 stars, you can try your hand at a hard mode, which is faster and, well, harder. I mean, anything less would be disappointing. There is also a level editor mode where you can make your own designs within the confines of that particular dream and track. If Melatonin's rather unique brand of visual cues syncing with rhythmic tracks don't quite click with your metronome, the game does offer a good variety of accessibility options that will allow you to leave action prompts on in scored mode or increase the window of time you'll have to get a perfect for each beat. On paper, all of this sounded like such a bizarre yet intriguing concept to me. Sure, removing the confines of a traditional rhythm game is great in theory, but in practice, it could quickly become a nightmare if there are too many types of inputs thrown at the player at once, or if visual or audio clues aren't clear and intuitive. Fortunately, that is not the case for Melatonin. Yes, the practice mode is an absolute necessity. This way you can understand when and how you are meant to input these beats. With a little bit of patience and repetition, these levels are an absolute blast to master. I did find myself a little frustrated with a few of the levels, looking at you, baseball alarm clocks, but I was always able to overcome, which made the gameplay ultimately satisfying. It's also just a really refreshing take on the genre in general, and one that really makes the audio and visuals the focal point without all of the distracting lanes and floating button prompts that typically clutter a rhythm game. Because of this, visuals in Melatonin are quite relaxing, and it often feels like an interactive work of art. There's no harsh colors or lines, just a delicate pastel palette filled with dreamy purples, pinks, and blues. The animations are smooth, and I didn't run into any performance issues, at least not on the PC. I will say it is a bit odd the way you have to exit each level to walk to the next one. It almost felt like it would make more sense if the game automatically kicked you to its overworld of sorts after you succeeded or perfected a track, rather than prompting you to try it again, but this is, I would say, a twin-sized complaint. I loved all of the celestial motifs, which I feel like played really well into the theme of reality blending into your dreams, and I personally would definitely boot this game up on a sleepless night to calm my busy mind with some chill visuals. And of course, we can't have a rhythm game review without talking about the soundtrack. Not only do the tracks have to motivate you to press on through challenging levels, but they also have to stick with you enough so you can memorize sounds and patterns in order to hone your craft. I am one of those annoying humans that is always tapping my foot along to music, a habit I developed thanks to my 4th grade band teacher. Thank you, Mr. Corcoran, wherever you are. But to his credit, that has always helped me stay on beat like the fleshy metronome that I am. And this is a habit that seriously comes in handy with Melatonin. Tapping along to the beat helps you get into the rhythm so you can begin to predict the prompts even before the game's visuals show you. These songs aren't fast-paced unless you take on hard mode, but sometimes they actually felt a bit too slow for my taste. There were a few levels that I actually had an easier time getting into the groove with hard mode because the beat just made more sense to me. The songs themselves are great electronic compositions that do have an addictive property to them. They're pretty subtle and unassuming at first, but as you move through each level, you start to find the little connections between all of the blips and bleeps, which ultimately crescendo into a free-for-all mashup at the end of each chapter. It's fun to see how everything comes together so seamlessly, like some really high thread count sheets. I genuinely enjoyed my time with Melatonin. I'm not sure if it's something I will be taking every day, but I did find it to be a relaxing experience. Oh, we're still talking about the game? Same sentiment applies. Sure, some aspects of the game inputs worked better than others for me, and I definitely tired quickly of the hold prompts and having to exit each song manually, but for the most part, it was a short but positive experience. Much like sleep, I enjoyed it, but I want some more.